Kyle Carter and his friend Rodriguez had seen a lot in their lives. Abandoned buildings, forgotten towns, lost treasures. They were well-known treasure hunters in Nevada, and their YouTube channel was filled with mysterious places and incredible finds. But nothing, not even their wildest discoveries, could have prepared them for what they found that day. They had decided to explore a new forest area right on the outskirts of a small town. People around there said the place was full of old vehicles and crumbling factory buildings. It was the kind of place most people would avoid. But for Kyle and Rodriguez, it was just another adventure. The trees were tall and silent. The roads were broken. Rusted cars stood still like statues, slowly being swallowed by nature. As they wandered deeper into the forest, they passed what looked like hundreds of old, broken-down vehicles. Some had vines growing through the windows. Others were covered in thick dust, as if frozen in time. They were used to silence, but then Kyle heard something strange. It was soft, almost too quiet to notice. At first he thought it was the wind, or maybe a squirrel trapped inside one of the cars. But the sound didn't go away. It was coming from an old pickup truck, rusted, dented, and nearly hidden behind the bushes. They moved closer. The sound got clearer. It wasn't the wind, it wasn't an animal, it was crying. Kyle reached for the truck's door. Rodriguez stood close behind, unsure of what they were about to find. When the door opened, they were frozen in shock. Inside the truck was a newborn baby, just a few days old, wrapped carefully in soft blankets, wearing a tiny yellow vest. The crying was weak, but it was real. The baby was alive. Kyle's hands shook as he grabbed his phone and called 911. He had never felt fear like that before, not even in the scariest places they'd explored. This wasn't an old map or hidden treasure. This was a human life. Police arrived fast and rushed the baby to the hospital. The officers immediately started looking for clues. They checked cameras on the nearby highway, and it didn't take long to find out who had left the baby there. The truth was heartbreaking. The baby's own parents, who lived on a farm just a few miles away, had left the child there. Why? Because the baby had been born with a rare skin condition. Doctors said it would require expensive treatment, more than the parents could afford. Instead of asking for help, instead of reaching out to someone, they gave up. The father told police he chose that forest on purpose, because it was often visited by hikers, explorers, and people like Kyle and Rodriguez. He said he hoped someone would find the baby quickly. Imagine that for a moment. Being so desperate, so hopeless, that you leave your child behind, trusting that a stranger might care more than you can. The community was stunned. People couldn't believe it. Some were angry. Some felt sorry for the parents. But everyone was relieved the baby had been found, in time. Kyle and Rodriguez became heroes overnight. But they didn't see it that way. They just kept thinking about what could have happened if they had chosen a different path that day, or if they had walked by just 10 minutes earlier or later. It made them realize something important. Sometimes, the greatest treasures aren't gold or silver, but moments like this, where a simple choice saves a life. Today, the baby is safe and under care, and both parents are still awaiting trial for what they did. This story isn't just about a forest, an old truck, or two YouTubers. It's about how, even in a world full of broken things and abandoned places, there are still chances to make a difference. And sometimes, the most precious things are found in the places you least expect.